Introduction to Angiosperms. When you think of plants, most of them are probably angiosperms. This is because about 90% of all extant plant species are, in fact, angiosperms, commonly referred to as the flowering plants. Angiosperms produce reproductive structures known as flowers and fruit. The flowers specialize for sexual reproduction, so once you learn a little bit about flowers, you'll never look at flowers the same again. When I talk about flowers in in-person classes, I often do a challenge where I ask a couple of students to come down and draw a flower for me with no additional instruction. And almost all of the time, the flowers that are drawn look something like the ones that are on the slide right here. And that's because as humans, what we see the most of flowers are actually the petals. But once we dive a bit more into flower anatomy, it's actually kind of interesting to see beyond the petals. So the petals are definitely an important feature of flowers, but the main point of the petals is actually to attract pollinators. When I tell students this, it's kind of mind-boggling to them. We think of flowers as beautiful, and it's because of their petals, but the petals are not actually beautiful for us. They're beautiful to attract pollinators. And these bright colors attract birds and bees, and that is going to be a way that flowers help themselves reproduce. But if you examine a flower more closely, you'll see there are more parts to it than just the petals. Most flowers have both male and female parts, the stamen and the carpel. The stamen consists of two parts, the filaments and the anthers. The anthers produce microspores that are going to develop into pollen, which contains the male gametophyte. So the stamen is what's considered the male part of the flower. There's also a female part of the flower, the carpel, and the carpel consists of the stigma, the style, and the ovary, which has ovules in it, and within the ovules, we have the female gametophyte, so the carpel is considered the female part of the flower. Before the flower opens, it's enclosed in specialized petals called sepals, forming what we commonly refer to as a bud. If you have any questions about any of this content, please don't hesitate to contact me.